In the same way that the sun rises in the morning, the stars come out at night. For billions of years, the stars have been a critical part of our environment. Development, globalization, and the reckless use of artificial light threatens the habitat of humanity on a global scale. We are losing access to the night sky. After the invention of the light bulb in the 19th century, the stars nearly disappeared in the sky glow as light use exploded around the world. Unregulated artificial light threatens the preservation of the dark sky. It's putting the future of astronomy, a source of creative inspiration, and community at risk.
It's important for our soul, it's important for our spirit, it's important for arts and our perception of who we are as human beings. It gets people inspired, looking up at the stars and wondering. It's always been part of us, and now we're erasing it.
So the way that we normally define light pollution is we say that it's any form of outdoor light at night that produces some sort of adverse impact. After the Second World War, our economy really took off. That's when our cities started to brighten up very rapidly. Here in the United States and North America generally, that rate of growth of light pollution is still faster than population, but it is definitely starting to slow down. And that's part of, again, changing the human relationship to light.
The Mount Lemmon Sky Center is the outreach and education arm of the Department of Astronomy. So Mount Lemmon is a particularly good site because it sits up at above 9,000 feet. So we get above a lot of the things that would limit our seeing down in the valley, above light pollution, above dust.
Especially for our work, since we're looking for very faint objects usually, any background light, so from Phoenix or down in Tucson, is going to show up in our camera. It kind of washes out any really dim asteroids. Our fear is always that we'll miss something because it's lost in the background haze of photons from lights down in the valley. For work, certainly, I would hate to miss important object, something that's scientifically interesting, or, even worse would be a small impactor just because it's washed out due to light pollution.
People sometimes say, wow, all these big numbers in astronomy really make us feel small, don't they? Like, the universe is this vast place, and it's true. I think there's a utility to that because it puts what we do on Earth in perspective. So you go to Flagstaff and you'll notice that for the most part, their street lighting is this very yellow, almost orange looking light that's made with a type of a lamp called a low pressure sodium lamp. And the reason that they do that is rather than emitting all of the colors uniformly like a white light, those lamps emit in just a little narrow part of the spectrum. If you talk to people in Flagstaff, they understand why the streetlights are yellow and not some other color, but they don't have to do a lot of enforcement because people just already kind of get it.
Putting better porch lights on the front and back doors of your house, it makes a huge difference.
Could other cities benefit from the way Flagstaff does what it does? Absolutely.
You really have to start at the community and grassroots level, or at least work from both ends. I mean, it will always be a political issue because to control it, you've got to regulate it. And to regulate it, you've got to have ordinances and laws, and legislative bodies have to pass those.
One of the worst things is that whole generations of kids are, especially in the cities, are growing up without ever experiencing things, so they don't even know what they're missing.
Well, dark skies have been part of Flagstaff's community identity for 50 years. It's part of who we are.
It has kind of severed our connection to the night sky, which has been this thing that has inspired people for many thousands of years. So I have hope for the future as far as our ability to turn this around in the span of a generation or two, if we were really committed to it.
Sometimes you hear people say it makes you feel so insignificant. I don't think it does make you feel insignificant. Every atom in our bodies was synthesized in the core of a long dead star billions of years ago. So then they blow themselves to smithereens and supernovae and blast all of these elements out into the cosmos, where eventually they become new generations of stars and planets and eventually became all of us. So literally, we are stardust that somehow went from a ridiculous hydrogen atom to this collection of atoms that can ponder its own origins. So I think when we, in a way, when we try to understand the stars, we're really trying to understand ourselves. And if we are literally children of the stars, we're actually not that insignificant. We're part of the universe, and it's really a quest for self-knowledge, and that makes it pretty darn significant.
Don't we owe it to future generations to try to solve as many of these problems as we can? Light pollution and other kinds of pollution. So if that's what the night sky reminds us of, there's a benefit to that that's far greater than whether people can see the night sky. That's why I do this. And I see evidence of that every day.